Hey everybody, it's a beautiful day out. So I'm on my back porch. I've been working on some projects today and just decided to eat lunch out here. It's obviously sunny. Again, sorry for the squinting, but it feels great to actually be able to sit outside again. Today I'm going to be trying a couple of things that Craig Tohill sent me. One is a Japanese Tempura Soba from Menraku, which is Hikari Miso is the main company for this. Soba noodles are traditionally buckwheat noodles and are usually eaten cold, but you can also have them obviously warm. And this is topped with this little puck, and this is called kakaage, I believe, and it is basically fried vegetables, like chopped up vegetables and sometimes seafood, in a tempura batter. You put it on top of the noodles and it kind of gets crunchy soft, so it is kind of a traditional topping. I really like it because it has that kind of, you have to eat it quickly, because if you just let it sit and hang out, it falls apart and it's not worth anything. But if you put it on top, it's almost like dipping a cookie in milk. You have that perfect timing where it has to stay soft and crunchy or whatever. So letting this cook a little more, and then we're also going to try, this is Tomamasu Inryo Kanjuku mango cider. So this is a carbonated mango cider. Craig sent me these as well, so we'll give both of these a shot. Kakaage is one of those things that can be as simple as, if you've ever gone to Long John Silver's or fish and chips, where you get that kind of batter, those little crunchy things that they give with the fish. It can be something as simple as that, or it can be very complex with, like I said, vegetables chopped up very finely and seafood, and then it's fried very quickly, and it just creates this crunchy, chewy, tasty topping thing. So okay, there we go. Japanese Tempura Soba. Again, this is Menraku brand, and I think this is Hikari Miso is the company. Yes, Hikari Miso. I've had their noodles before, and I believe that I've tried them on the channel. I'm not really very familiar with them. They seem to be, Craig has sent me several flavors of this. They seem to be a pretty, big company, but not something that I was really familiar with. But again, when I was in Japan, I was in a cloud most of the time because I was so overwhelmed by just the sheer array of things out there. I wasn't really particularly, there were a couple of noodle brands that were my go-tos because I knew that they always worked. So I always would go, Ipe-chan yakisoba. I always knew that was going to be good. But as far as a lot of other things, I just didn't really, it wasn't that I wasn't exploring, it was like it could have taken me forever to actually discover all these things. So right off the bat, these have what I'm going to say flat out is a traditional Japanese fishy broth. It's something that I'm still not hugely into, but it's something that I've gotten used to. There's just the sense of fish and seafood that I spent most of my life never really being around, getting into it. If this is something that these are the earliest smells that you have as a kid, you get used to it. It becomes how you think about your home and your family and everything. This is not my world. My smells growing up were potato soup and chili and macaroni and cheese, and those smells are still very comforting to me. This is something that, very heavy, kind of bonito, fishy, and I hate, because fishy implies it's a bad flavor. Some people love it, and a lot of people love it, and good on them. If this is something that people enjoy, by all means. I'm not talking bad about other people's foodways. It's just something that me personally, I don't embrace. I still like to try it because there are times when it surprised me, and there are times, I told the story a while back about going past the factory that produces the cured bonito flakes, and how that smell used to be awful to me, and then it became something very comforting to me. So things change, and that's how you grow, is by kind of pushing yourself into uncomfortable situations. And with food, how dangerous is food most of the time? If you're eating a sane, rational dish. You're not eating, you know, live scorpions or some nonsense. How dangerous is food to you unless you have an allergy? So I guess it's just the thing of I want to try more stuff, and this. I'm glad that I have the opportunity to keep doing that. So here, the kakage, we're going to put that in, and I'm just going to kind of dunk it down. Let that hang out for just a second. This one's pretty crunchy, crusty, pretty crispy and crunchy. It's crusty. So that'll be good. It's already starting to soften a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and just try these noodles. I want to get an idea of the tooth, and I probably talked too long, so they may be a little overdone, but that's on me. Itadakimasu. Great texture, very salty, and man, again, not as bad as the lobster noodles, but these are very fishy to me. There is a lot of that cooked down dashi stock. Like, it is dashi stock that has been condensed. And again, it's one of those things, you know, I do this with chicken broth or beef broth all the time, where I'm trying to condense it down and make this like super rich version of it. That's what this is, but with a more seafoody, you know, thing. I wish I had chopsticks. I'm out of chopsticks right now because doing this with a fork is a pain in the ass. But we'll give this a try. This is the kakage. That's the best part. There's little of the broth in it, but the flavoring of the kakage itself is good. There's kind of a fresh greenness to it. I almost wonder if those are like green beans or something. Yeah, very, very rich. You can taste the oil. A very pleasant fried flavor. Doesn't taste greasy. Doesn't taste, you know, bad, but rich. Yeah, that part was great. And then we're going to go back to the noodles again, see if that kind of balances out a little bit. The noodles, the texture of the noodles is great. Wow. I don't know if it's a combination of the buckwheat, because I know the buckwheat can have a very strong flavor to it, but that broth is just, it's a little too much for me. Yeah, I think it's one of those things of, again, I like seafood, but it's that idea of the flavors that people tend to focus on when they're making a seafood broth, for example. I think seafood, the best part of it is the delicacy of it, not the heavy flavors. But so I'm gonna give this a okay. Yeah, I'm not my bag. So really not enjoying these. There's a flatness to seafood, especially fish, that I don't care for sometimes. It's one of the reasons why traditionally fish has bright flavors: salt, lemon, even soy. You know, soy has this way of taking flat, that almost metallic flatness that fish can have, and brightening it up so that it doesn't have that, doesn't taste that bad. Thanks to Craig again. Sorry, dude, didn't care for these, but I tried them, you know. And again, that's the fight. That's the part. Is trying it, giving it a go, not just holding your nose and taking one, you know, swallow. It's like actually trying to get into it, and that has not happened with these. So again, you might give these a shot if you're into, like I said, it's very rich, kind of fishy broth. These are the Menraku Tempura Soba. Where the hood went, probably across the yard. There we are. Yeah, Japanese Tempura Soba. There are those. And then we're gonna try the Kanjuku Mango Cider, Tomamasu Inryo, and again, all my Japanese friends, I'm sorry, you know that. So give this a shot. It has stayed nice and airy, nice and bubbly. What am I thinking of? I can't think of words right now. It's that all I can taste and think of is like fish, you know. So this smells beautiful. This is a yeah, mango cider. So wow, that is really good. It's a little sweet, but not overly. It doesn't, like, again, it doesn't have that cloying aftertaste that a lot of American sodas have. Yeah, this is good. I kind of like, you know, I like clear sodas. I think I'm starting to get to the point where I don't necessarily need sodas to be brightly colored. Um, yeah, very good. So this is what brand are you? Kanjuku Mango Cider, Tomomasu Inryo, imported by JFC International. So Corey got these in Florida, and I'm sure these are, you know, these two things are something that you can get imported in the U.S. pretty easily. But yeah, thanks again, dude, for sending these up. You know, sending these up to me. I hope to never set foot in the state of Florida again. So I would say that I would, you know, come down and visit, but that would be a probable lie. Otherwise, so yeah, things are, you know, things are a state like they are. I got a couple of friends who are having some really serious health issues. Lost a friend of mine a week or so ago. Just, you know, we're getting to the age where, you know, it almost happened to me. Your heart just stops. Your heart just says, I'm done. And it's troublesome. It's very troublesome. But still trying to stay positive. You know, the stuff going on in Ukraine is so heavy, and everybody feels so helpless. You know, it's infuriating to me, honestly. Keep having these daydreams about, you know, having a mercenary air force with, you know, several A-10 Thunderbolts in it. But, you know, that being said, it's got to work its way out, and, you know, we will rely on our vaunted leadership to see us through this, and hopefully not into another colossal world war. But hey, yeah, so you notice I am wearing one of the Rose Ramen Reviews t-shirts. These are fine, other than for some reason it placed the image so low, and maybe it's to keep it, you know, under my beard, but for most people it's basically like, yeah, you don't really want my face right on your belly, even though eating all these things is probably, you know, indicative of that. So yeah, the link for this, I'll put this in the description. So Rose Ramen Reviews shirts. This is the first one, and I did this myself. I may, you know, do some other stuff later on. It's just fun to have, you know, kind of a brand to play with or whatever. Again, you know, eagle-eyed viewers will notice that the text here is the same as Rose Hobby Pod, which is my other YouTube channel. This is German Bold Italic. It was designed by Toate, the DJ. He was an art school student and typographer, and this font came free on the album Sound Museum. And I've always loved the idea that I got an album that had a font on it, and it's actually a really usable font, and so it's kind of one of my favorite fonts just because of how it was embraced, you know, when I was in school. Like, I knew people who used it and had no idea where it came from because it was on our servers at school because I put it on there, and so people just be like, oh, it's a cool font, not realizing like it, you know, it came from Toate, this album, me, whatever. So cool. So yeah, it's German Bold Italic, and there's a really weird, strange kind of song and video with Kylie Minogue as the typeface German Bold Italic. So all right, I'm getting, you know, trailing off. So I hope you're all doing well. Just, you know, keep on keeping on, and yeah, we'll be back, you know, next week sometime with something different. Bye.